Hi, you have Harvey Migotti from the Forager International Fund here with Chloe Stokes. We're here to talk about SPACs. We've talked a lot about SPACs in our newsletters, blogs, and various videos. For those that aren't familiar, they're special purpose acquisition companies where they allow a private business to list onto the public markets in a much more efficient manner, in a faster way than the traditional IPO method. So we've had a lot of success over the past year in SPACs. We've had some real big winners, things that have gone up 2, 3, 4-fold over the past 12 months, and some great businesses that are near and dear to our heart that we still hold. But we look at a lot of them, and we're here to talk about some of the ones that we've looked at that are good businesses. We still like them, they're on our watch list, but we couldn't just get everything to sync. I'm here with Chloe to discuss one or two of those. So Chloe, tell us a bit more about the latest one that we looked at, which is Betterware.
Yeah, so we were looking at Betterware Mexico, which is a Tupperware distributor based in Mexico. And it kind of gets painted with the MLM brush, which is fair because they do sell their products through a network of distributors and
just for our viewers out there, MLM
is multi-level marketing.
You'll be familiar with that. You sell a bunch of Tupperware to your friends and then they have to go out and sell it to others and everyone earns money as it gets kicked upstream. It's almost a Ponzi scheme to some extent, isn't it?
Almost, but we think there are some places where it can work if it's done well, and Mexico is one of them because they have really tight family units around there and they kind of sell to and from each other. They like helping each other out.
It's a different culture, isn't it, from what we have in the parts of the West. Yeah.
And then it's also the geography because everything's so spread out. It's really hard for companies to deliver to a lot of the counties in Mexico. So this avoids that issue as well, and it also means that Betterware has very low distribution costs because they give the products to the distributors who then distribute them to the associates, and they hand deliver those products to the end customer.
So instead of Parcel Force coming to deliver your package to Potts Point or wherever you may be in Sydney or Australia, you've actually got distribution points, and it's your neighbors or friends that will come and deliver to you. And the company is attractive because they, quite frankly, avoid a lot of the overheads that larger companies that have to deliver it have. And quite frankly, no one wants to pay $10 in delivery fees, right, for buying a plate. So it kind of makes sense from that perspective, doesn't it?
Exactly, and it's been really high growth. COVID has helped it, and it generates positive cash flow, as I was mentioning before. So it was a really interesting business. We spent a little bit of time on it and we got to speak to the company, but we ended up passing on it because we just couldn't quite make the price stack up when we were considering the risks that were involved as well.
It was probably a great, it was obviously an amazing opportunity when it was, when it listed at $10, but at 35, it still looks cheap, on its valuation and on a multiple level, but you wonder how much they've, pushed the pedal to the floor and how far they've moved along their expansion curve.
Exactly.
And how much growth is left, and that's where where we kind of felt it's just we just didn't get enough comfort there. It's one on our watch list, though, isn't it?
Definitely keeping it on the watch list.
Yeah, great. And what about skin, Chloe? So that's near and dear to you.
Yeah. So the beauty health company, it's one that Harvey pointed out to me a couple of weeks ago, and what they do is they manufacture these really innovative facial machines called Hydrofacial. I'd never heard of them before, but as soon as I did, I researched them, and they're absolutely everywhere in Sydney and everyone raves about them. I rushed out to get a Hydrofacial the next morning for some research. And again, it's another really incredible business. They're in beauty salons everywhere all around the world, and like I said, everyone raves about the product. It was another one that, while the growth is really strong and the business looks amazing, we just couldn't get the price to quite stack up at the current price. However, if we had have gotten in before, when it was trading at net asset value, it looked quite attractive.
Yeah. So one thing we found with SPACs, especially over the last few months, up until February, you had this phenomenon where as soon as an announcement came out, it would go up 30, 20, 50%, all kinds of crazy price appreciation levels. And what's happened since is that a lot of them have traded back to net asset value, which is $10 in the US for a lot of these SPACs. And as soon as the deal is actually closed and the ticker changes from the SPAC to the actual company, they start to move. And we started looking at Beauty Health right before that, and within a week, it had gone from $13 to 18. It was almost incredible. So you just have to be very quick. You have to do your work, and we like to do our work here at Forager, and sometimes that means you miss out on an opportunity, but it also means that hopefully we have less missteps than you would if you didn't do that. But what's the moral of the story here? The market's very fast and dynamics change all the time. Before it was the deal gets announced, the SPAC reprices, and all of a sudden now we have an environment where the deal announces, they stay where they are, no one wants to touch them until the deal is closed. And then you see institutional buyers step in, research coverage get picked up, and all of a sudden a lot of buzz starts being created around the opportunities. And we're fully aware of that. We've got some really exciting ones that we have bought as well, which we'll talk about in our quarterly letters. So do keep your eyes out for that, and we'll be sending that out over the next few weeks. So look forward to staying in touch.